What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassandra and today I'm going to be showing you my everyday go-to makeup look. It's the one I'm wearing right now. So if you want to see how I got this look, just go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so I already have my face washed and prepped and ready to go. I always recommend washing your face before you're going to do your makeup just because you don't want to have makeup going on top of a dirty face. It's like layers on top of layers on top of layers. You don't want to do that. So I went ahead, I washed my face already. I already put my moisturizer on, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So after I wash my face and do my moisturizer, the next thing I do is my primer. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hair back and then we will get started. The primer I use is the Coconut Face Primer by Ulta Beauty. It's a hydrating primer because I do have normal to dry skin. So I always like to add as much moisture as I can. I just go ahead, put that on. I also like to add it onto my eyelids and my eyebrows because they do get dry sometimes. And my nose. The foundation I use is the HD Soft Focus Liquid Foundation by Ulta. It is busted, as you can tell, but I love it. And then I'm just going to take that on my beauty blender. I do 1 to 2 pumps of that. And I just put it all over. I like this foundation because it is not too thick or full coverage. It's light to medium coverage. And the reason I don't like full coverage foundation is because it gets really thick on my skin and I just don't like the way it feels. So I do a light coverage foundation and then I go ahead and use a more full coverage concealer to get all my blemishes and under eye circles, just where you normally put concealer. I feel like it feels less cakey on my skin if I do a light foundation and a more full coverage concealer. So I just go ahead and apply that all over my face. And I'm in the color light to medium warm in that foundation. And I just want to let you guys know I'm not a makeup artist. I am not a professional makeup person. This is just my go-to look that I do. And I'm just sharing it with you, so don't come for me. Okay, now once you feel like you have an even base, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to concealer. So for concealer, I use the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer, and I am in the shade Light Beige. And I would just put that on my nose. Put it right here, my forehead, on my chin, and then I do my eyes later. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my mirror right here. Just keep blending, just keep blending. Okay, now once I have those places all blended out, I will go ahead and put some on my under eye. And the reason I like to do them separate is because when I do my under eye, I like to put on the concealer, blend it out, and then put the powder on as soon as possible, just so I don't get any creases. So I go ahead and put a little here, a dot there, and a dot there. And then I will take my little beauty blender and blend those parts out. I also like to take it up and out. That makes your face lifted. A little trick. I'm doing the beautiful face. Everyone loves mascara face. Okay, and once you have that all blended on that side, go ahead and repeat the process. Lather, rinse, repeat. On the other eye. And once that's blended, then I go ahead and just put some on my upper lid just to hide any veins or discoloration. And then it also preps for the little bit, very little bit of eyeshadow that we're gonna do later. And blend that out. Okay, now once you have all of that blended out, we are going to go in with our setting powder. I'm using the Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. I'm in the shade Classic Ivory. I use a beauty blender to blend out the creases, just to make sure we don't have creases, and then I also use the beauty blender to set the powder. I feel like it presses it in better than a brush. I'm going to take the other side that you were using, blend out those creases one more time. And once they're gone, go ahead, take your powder, press it in. Once you have that all done, go ahead and repeat it on the other side. Okay, and now that you've done that, you can go ahead and set all the other areas that you put your concealer and your foundation. So basically your whole face. If there's anywhere on your face that you have lines, like right here, make sure you blend those out before you put your powder on, or else you'll set those lines. Okay, now that everywhere on your face is set and you feel like it's pretty good, we're gonna go ahead and let the face set for a second. I don't know why, I just feel like it needs to set and soak in the powder. But now we're gonna move on to the eyebrows. Okay, so for my eyebrows, I use the Arbonne Shape It Up Brow in the color medium. And I do work with Arbonne. I have a website. If you want to look down in the description, you can go ahead and click on that link. You can get some money off if you sign up to be a preferred client. So go ahead and check that out. You don't have to, of course, but if you want to, it'll be down in the description. This is a dual-sided eyebrow brush, and so I take the spoolie end and I go ahead and brush the brows, make sure there's no powder in them. I need to get my brows done. I have not gotten them done since quarantine started, and it's been like 3 months, so yeah. So just go ahead, I start with outlining the bottom of my brow, okay, and then I'll go into my arch, the upper arch. I don't like a perfect brow, like after I do my brow, I don't conceal it, so I like a clean / messy look. So just fill in after you do the upper and the lower. Okay, so now that my eyebrows are done, I go ahead and move on to my bronzer. I use the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. And I take that on a fluffy brush, just any kind of fluffy brush you have. And I go ahead and bring up my sideburns and just put that right up top. The higher you put it, the more lifted your face will seem. Then I go ahead and do that on the other side. Okay, and now once I finish the cheekbones, I go ahead and do my temples. And then to make my forehead smaller, I go ahead and put it right there because I got a big forehead. Okay, and then I take it down my jawline, contour. I don't contour, I just bronze because I feel like it just adds an overall warmth to my face, and I don't feel like I need to contour when I do it. Okay, now that I'm finished with my bronzer, I go ahead and move on to blush, and I use the e.l.f. blush in the color Pink Passion. It is extremely bright, but when I put it on, it doesn't come out as intense. So just a little dab, and then I put that on my cheekbones and move it up. Just some little flicking motions. I like to focus it mainly on my cheekbones and then just diffuse it up and out. And then I also like to put it on my nose very slightly. I feel like it just gives you a flush look, like you're out in the snow on a cold day and you just come inside. I feel like it gives you a more innocent look also. I don't know, I just do what I feel. Okay, now I'm moving on to my highlighter. And for my highlighter, I use the Ulta Beauty Face Highlighting Color Stick in Pixie Dust. And for this, since it's a cream stick and I have already put on my powder, I just use my finger and I roll it on. And then I dab onto the places that I want. I don't smear, or else I'm gonna pick up all of the stuff I just put down. So I just go ahead and dab on the high points of my cheekbone. It's a really pretty subtle glow. And then I put some of the leaves just on the tip. And on my cupid's bow. And then I also take it up into a C like this. And I also put some just above on my brow bone. Okay, now that the face and the base is done, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the eyeshadow. So all I do for my eyeshadow is I go back into my Hoola bronzer and I just follow the crease and I put this on the crease and on the lid. Just pick it up, pack it on. Make sure it's fully covered. Okay, and now that it's fully packed in there, I take a more fluffy brush. This one's a little less densely packed than the other. Let's see. And I'm just gonna take this with a tiny bit of the bronzer and just blend this out into the crease and then up into the brow bone. And just keep going slowly, adding more if you need to. Okay, now once you feel like it's fully blended, you can just go ahead and blend out the other side. The reason I like using my bronzer for my eyeshadow is because I feel like it just ties everything in. But of course you can use whatever brown shadow you want to. And you can also, once you're finished, you can get a darker shade of brown and put it in the crease just to deepen up the crease a bit. But I just leave it like this. This looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my mascara. I'm using the Arbonne Speaks Volumes mascara, and I curl my lashes first because my lashes are stick straight, and if I don't curl them, you can barely see them even if I curl them, but I curl them to help them a little bit, give them a little boost. Okay, and now I'm going to put my mascara on. Okay, there's one eye. And then I'll just go ahead and do the lower lashes after I do both upper lashes. And then for my lips, if you want to wear a lipstick, you can. I'm not a big fan of anything on my lips, so I'll just wipe off the excess foundation. And then I'll just take my chapstick. And then the chapstick just adds a little bit of gloss and moisture to your lips. Okay, now that I finished with all that, I'm just going to go ahead and set my face. I use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And I'm just going to spray that all over my face. Okay, that's my everyday go-to makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You can follow me on my social media. It will be down in the description, and I'll also put it right here. Please subscribe, like, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.